What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about Ghost of Tsushima. So we've got the gameplay. We got the long, extended look at this game. And now it's time to talk about it. This is, for the longest time, if you guys have watched the channel over the past couple of weeks, even the past couple months, I talked about the absolute importance of showing us more about Ghost of Tsushima. Not necessarily for the, full negative way you would think of, like, hey, well, we don't trust Sucker Punch or whatever reason you want to give. I just think that this is a game that, even based off of the past of Sucker Punch, you needed to have shown more of, and they did it. And credit to where credit's due, these guys nailed it. I think, I saw the comments of the state of play. I don't think everybody is on board with this game. I think a lot of people, I saw a lot of people were kind of disappointed at it. I think, though, again, for those that are in my boat, that are just very, very happy, very, very excited about this game, this is everything. Truly, this is everything I wanted them to show. I am now sold. The book can now be closed on this game, truly, because I think up until this point, we had the story. Now, obviously, we didn't have like the most information in the world, right? But we had the story. We saw a gameplay trailer. We know when it's coming out, right? We had the foundation, a very, very small amount of the foundation, I would argue. This presentation showed us everything else that I wanted to see. We saw a lot more of the combat, which, by the way, I'm a really, really big fan of. I love the samurai kind of feel that, the combat looks kind of weird. I think I would say that. And I don't want you guys to be like, I don't want that to be taken as a negative, because I actually had done martial arts in the sword kind of field for a little bit. I dabbled in it a few years ago, and the way he uses the sword is perfect. It's, again, I think it's very different how you're looking at it. The gameplay doesn't like look as fluid or as amazing as maybe some other things you've seen, and at the same time, it does look like it, doesn't it? It looks like eloquent. It looks very like planned out. I love the parrying at the last minute, or the very quick like executions of the people that he was doing. Very, very cool. I love it. I really, really love the sword play. Again, looks kind of different, but in the samurai kind of feel, how people would use these swords and combat each other, it is literally perfect. Again, we got to see, well, what do you do in this game? And we talked about that, right? We know the story, we know the general idea, but what are we going to be doing in a minute-to-minute basis of the game? And I actually like that they started off it with just saying the exploration parts, that, you know what? A big part of the game, a big part of the land is to just explore it, to look around, to use the wind, which is awesome. Now, we had heard so much that there was not going to be like a marking system in this game, right? That there wasn't going to be like a HUD telling you where to go, and a lot of people were very, very excited about it. The wind, is that a cop-out to some? To be honest with you, when in the video that we just all saw, when the wind was guiding him, I kind of thought that, but you know what? I kind of thought that was a little, not like cheesy, but a little bit of a cop-out when you've already been so bold to say, we're not going to tell you where to go. We're not going to have a marker system, but then the wind will tell you where to go. So that's a little off, but you know what? At the same time, I get it. I feel like you can't have people just running around the island with no clue where to go, but I do, what I will say, I love the visual cues, the wind, all the times that they talked about like the smoke and all the different meanings of what these things are. In fact, that's the first thing I noticed. I thought that in the when they first opened, when he was on the hill, that's what I thought they were going to say, that basically follow the fire, follow the smoke. That is what's going to get you from place to place. I thought that's what they were going to say, and ultimately that is part of it, right? Those kind of indicate other things going on around the island. But the shrines, all the different things to find, all the different things to pick up, the customization that then goes into that, all that kind of stuff. Now we get a better feel. These different villages that are occupied by the Mongols, right? What are we gonna do? Well, you take them out, and once you're done, it's free, right? They're not controlled anymore. How do you do it? Well, you can do it stealthy, and they showed that, right? And you can do it pretty aggressive, where you just go in there. They did that too. How do you get around? You use your horse, or you just run around. You could do both. I really am impressed. Again, this is exactly what I thought they needed to do, and they showed it. Now, did they show the most massive amount of things in the world? No, it wasn't too much. It was whatever it was, 15 minutes or so of, again, you're going to explore in this world. You're going to do side things. Notice that they didn't do any side quests. Now, I had talked about that. Was that something that maybe they were going to do in this state of play? Obviously, that just wasn't kind of the theme of what they were going to do, but we know there's main things to do. We know there'll be side things to do. We know now that there's basically combat kind of things scattered throughout the map. We know there's exploration things. All of these different things to do. Now we're starting to finally piece it together. One of the final things I want to say is kind of the atmosphere, so like the music, the tone, and like the visuals. My God. So the music I thought was like perfect. Again, very much in the theme of what the game is going for. I don't think it's going to be for everybody. I wouldn't even say necessarily it's my like cup of tea. I'm just in a different kind of music class, right? But I do, again, respect what they're going for, and I liked what I heard in this presentation. The visuals, I saw some people say in the comments, like, was it toned down? Was it, downgraded? I mean, every game does get downgraded. It's not going to look as good as when they first do it. Now, again, I will give you this. Do some games kind of scam people more than others, right? In fact, some have even been taken to court and say, you really, like, fooled people, right? That's happened before. So I get that. I understand that. It does look a little bit downgraded. At the same time, if you really do pay it to, because I think I saw that comment, and then immediately I was trying to find the smaller things in the game. I think, though, it does look absolutely amazing. I think, like, looking down, like, looking at the grass, looking at the leaves, looking at the flowers, all with blowing in the wind, and then especially when they went to, you could do it in, like, samurai cinema, right, where everything's, like, black and white. You could do it, obviously they have the Japanese track, which is really awesome, but then the photo mode, when they showed the photo mode, if you just look at all those very, very small details, the game is beautiful. And I think it really, really is. Does it look as incredible as the greatest CG trailer the game has came up with? No. And again, no game does that. Is that a gaming industry problem? I think it is. I do think it is, because it builds false expectations for it. But at the same time, how close can the base game, when you actually get it, how close will it be to what we've seen in the past, right? That's ultimately what every game kind of strives to do, right? It's kind of live up to the best looking representation that we've gotten, okay? And this game, I think, again, if you really look at the small details, if you look at like the sword combat, again, if you look at the ground, if you look at the wind blowing, all that kind of stuff, I think in a general scope, like when he's going through the forest and all that kind of stuff, I think it looks absolutely amazing. I think maybe one of the only weaker parts could be maybe when he's like fighting and it doesn't necessarily like leave marks on the enemies. Now the enemies like fall, in like a realistic way, like depending on where he cuts them, they don't just immediately, they don't like ragdoll or anything like that. So like those are all good. But maybe smaller details like that. The game's not going to be literally perfect. And by the way, this doesn't excuse them of any criticisms going forward. I'm really impressed. I liked what I saw. I think this fit exactly. I don't know if people maybe set their expectations too high for this, right? I thought we were going to get exactly what we got. What was I telling you guys? I want exploration. I want to see what we're going to do in this game. What are we going to be able to see? What are we going to be able to fight? What are some different things we're going to be able to do besides the main story? That's literally what I thought we were going to get, and we got it. So they fulfilled that, and I think I'm still very, very excited. I don't really think it went up or down. I think maybe it probably went a little bit up, but was everything perfect? No, I mean, there were still some problems, and again, when the game comes out, Sucker Punch's track record isn't the most perfect thing in the world, right? So we do have to stay on them. We have to be willing to hear each other's criticisms of this game. That's for absolute sure, but I think for what it is, for what this presentation was aimed to do, I think they absolutely nailed it. I think that there weren't really any surprises, and I think, like I said, going into this, right, we talked about this a few days ago, we talked about this last week. I think for those that haven't been paying attention to this game yet, now you know what to expect. I think anybody that wasn't watching this game and they're like, well, I kind of want to see what you can do, I think this is a pretty good representation. You could say, well, is that really enough? Were there enough things in that world? I think, honestly, they could have had more. I think that is another weakness you could say. I like everything we saw. I like all the different things we will be able to do in this game. do I still kind of get a little worried that maybe it'll still feel empty or that there won't be enough to do? Yeah, I think there were maybe a little bit of signs of that, even like in the map. And again, we even know with like Infamous, you run out of things to do. And even in Infamous Second Son, their most recent example, you do run out of things to do pretty quickly. You put you don't put a couple hours in, but you put, a dozen or so, you put 10, 20 hours into it, and you can literally do everything there is to do in that game. And that's fine for what it is, but we're in games now of like Horizon, Witcher, Red Dead. They never end, right? They literally never end at this point. And so can Ghost of Tsushima take that step? I think that this is a positive, a step in the right direction, but I think there are still a couple worrisome signs there. Again, regardless, I'm very excited. I think this is a very good step for them. Can't wait to see more if there is more. And if there's not, honestly, don't care. I think I have for me, my own personal opinion of this game, of whether or not I would get it. And obviously that's kind of skewed too, but I think it showed me so far everything I need to know. I know the story trailer. I know the gameplay trailer. I know that there'll be side things to do. I know there's going to be main things to do. I know now what we're going to be able to do in the game when we're not doing that. Everything's solved, right? Is it enough? For some people, it may not be. For other people, it may be. But ultimately, we have pretty much a very good idea of what this game is now, and that's all I wanted. So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Did this presentation show you what you needed to see? Do you guys walk away from this disappointed, excited? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed and have that bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll be continuing covering Ghost of Tsushima as the months go on, obviously up until it comes out, and then we'll talk all about it, do loads of videos when the game is actually out, okay? So lots of stuff to talk about very, very soon, Ghost of Tsushima related, and I hope to see you all there.